most men think about today. The deadlines, the pressure, the house, the bills, the business. Far fewer think about what gets repeated, what their children may actually be carrying forward from what felt normal at home, what they may one day recreate without even realizing where it came from, what patterns may continue simply because nobody interrupted them. This is how family patterns often work, not as obvious rules, but as familiar feelings, familiar dynamics, a familiar way of relating, familiar levels of warmth, of distance, tension, and presence. And children grow up inside of those patterns, and often they carry them forward as normal. What feels normal often gets repeated, not because children consciously choose it, but because it feels familiar. And familiarity is powerful. If emotional distraction feels normal, they may tolerate it later. If warmth feels normal, they may build it later. And if work first living feels normal, they may recreate that too. What may get repeated is not always the obvious stuff, not just career choices, the emotional stuff, hurry, distraction, emotional distance, pressure first living, thin presence, a house that functions but doesn't feel especially warm. Those patterns can travel. Children learn relationship inside of living it. They learn how love feels like, how marriage feels like, how attention works, how people handle stress, how closeness feels, how disconnection feels. And unless somebody interrupts the unhealthy parts, the familiar ones are the ones that often keep going. One of the biggest generational risks for founder dads is this: passing down a life that looks successful on paper but feels emotionally thin at home. A child may later recreate the ambition, the work ethic, the provision, and also create the distance. That's the pattern you want to interrupt before it becomes inheritance. If you have a son, he may be repeating what he watches, not because he idolizes the painful parts, but because they felt normal. How a man works, how a husband listens, how a father responds, how pressure reshapes presence. Those things can travel quietly from one generation to the next. And if you have a daughter, she may normalize what you modeled. What kind of male presence makes her feel familiar? What kind of emotional availability feels normal? What kind of relationship energy she later accepts, expects, or tolerates? That matters more than most fathers let themselves think about. Here's the hard question: what would break your heart to see your child repeat one day? Work always wins, distance in marriage, emotionally inaccessibility, pressured home, being physically there but not fully there. That question reveals what you most need to interrupt right now. You can't break a pattern you won't name. You can't interrupt what you keep excusing. You can't change what you still call normal. Step one is honesty. What in your home feels normal right now? That should not become the inheritance. Here's the good news: patterns can stop with you. Generational repetition is not destiny, it's momentum, and momentum can be interrupted, not by one emotional weekend, but by repeated change in what home feels like right there. So interruption looks simple: more warmth, more steadiness, less hurry, protected presence, faster repair, better tone, more attunement. That is how the house starts feeling different. And when the house starts to feel different, the legacy starts to change too. So don't just hope they choose different later. Hope is not a strategy. If you want a different future for them, make the present feel different now. Children rarely build a new pattern from nothing. They build from what they have lived. That is the work. Replace what shouldn't repeat. If hurry is normal, normalize calm. If distraction is normal, normalize attention. If distance is normal, normalize warmth. If work first living is normal, normalize the protected family presence. This is how generational change starts. Make the healthy thing feel familiar. This is the modeling rule. Do it enough that warmth feels normal. Do it enough that presence feels normal. Do it enough that emotional availability feels normal, because familiarity is powerful in both directions. Ask this question often: what are we making feel normal here? Is it pressure, calm, interruptions, attention, distance, closeness? That question will tell you whether your house is reproducing something healthy or something costly. The practical shift is not abstract. Change the feel of the house. Your entry, your tone, your attentiveness, your pace, your presence at meals, your way of responding when somebody comes to you. This is where patterns get interrupted. New patterns are built in small scenes, not declarations. Breakfast, dinner, bedtime, car rides, after school moments, weekend mornings. That is where the future is being shaped more than the most men realize. Run a 7-day break the pattern plan. Day 1, name the pattern you do not want repeated. Day 2, name the healthier replacement. Day 3, protect one family moment. Day 4, model calm under pressure. Day 5, show warmth on purpose. Day 6, repair fast when you drift. And day 7, repeat what felt healthiest to normalize. That's the father first truth. Let the pattern end with you. Don't pass down a life that looks strong from the outside but felt thin on the inside. Pass down something better, something your children can safely build from. If this hits something real for you, go get the book. It's called Before They Stop Asking, and it goes much deeper into what your family is experiencing while the pattern is still changeable. Start right here, beforetheystopasking.com/book. The link will be in the description below. And on the next video, we're going to go into why so many men see this clearly and still delay. Why they waited too long, I did too, and what the delay is quietly costing you at home. We'll see you on the next video.